Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this NIGHTBIRD video. Obviously yesterday we did a boxing watch along, but you guys still kept sharing your thoughts, your theories. I wanted to round up that stuff so that we can go into Raw tomorrow kind of up to speeds, right? So this is just a collection of some of the best things that I've seen, some of the best thoughts, some of the best theories, some of the best posts from social media, right? And I've been inundated. So what I would say is, if you've sent me stuff and it doesn't feature here, don't be offended. I've been absolutely swamped, right? And I'm so grateful for that because I really do want to know your thoughts and your theories. You know, I am definitely receiving those. So it's been brilliant reading through them. And I think this is stuff that you'll find really interesting, right? So we're going to start with the stuff that's not really theory. We'll go to the theory after. This is just stuff that's happened that I think's interesting. Like this. This is Rachel Bonnetta. That is her. She is the woman that played the therapist that the Fiend saw. So back in, I think it was 2019, when WWE moved SmackDown over to Fox, they did a series of vignettes where different superstars would go to a therapist. One of them, for some reason, was the Fiend, right? He went to this therapist. Now, a lot of people think that this woman is this woman, the woman we saw on Twitch. I don't. I started to get doubts when I went the other day to her Twitter account, because when I went to her Twitter account to do a bit of investigating, I ended up watching some of her videos, and she's really good, man. She's really funny. I don't believe this person is this person. I believe they're two different people. Yes, they're both white. They both have blonde hair. They both have similar glasses, right? But I still don't believe them to be the same person. Maybe they wanted them to look similar. Not sure. But I don't believe them to be the same person. Anyway, doesn't really matter. But she has now tweeted out the original one saying, "I hope she's found," crying face, geek face, waving emoji. I really like her. Her stand-up's okay, but the stuff that I really liked was her little TikToks that she does. I was really entertained by those. So if you've not seen Rachel Bonnetta or the work that she does, check it out. I think you'll really like it. But I'm not sure that this woman is this woman, right? So she's saying, "I hope that she's found," did just make me smile. So I thought that's something you would find interesting. Right, Tristan said Jojo text Jay Uso after seeing the Fireflies during his entrance. So Jay said, "I think mostly I was validated with how Jojo, Bray Wyatt's wife, had texted me and said how emotional she was watching. She saw clips of it on YouTube that let me know right there, okay, I'm going to keep it. I hope it sticks with me. I never asked for it. They just did it. And I just want to keep it with me now." So this is a bit different to his original message, right? Obviously online, the question was, "Are you okay with Jay having the Fireflies?" And he responded, "It doesn't matter if you're okay. They're mine now. Ha ha ha." Something along those lines, right? And that kind of put a few people's backs up, right? Because obviously the whole Bray thing, Firefly, is very touchy. It's a very touchy subject, yeah? But now, obviously, he's coming out with things more in line like this, talking about JoJo, talking about how she was pleased to see the Fireflies back. And I mean, look, Bray is not going to care about Jay having them. He's not going to care. Of course he isn't. Right, so, you know, it's not really a conversation that needs to be had, but it's just kind of fun to me to see how he reacted initially. He was just having a bit of fun with it. "They're mine now, ha ha ha." And then I think he's just had to kind of walk back a bit from that, because I don't think the reaction that got was the reaction he was looking for or maybe even expecting, you know. He was just having a bit of fun. And there was this little backlash to it, you know, so it's just kind of fun, that's all. But honestly, I really don't think Bray would mind at all about those fireflies being in Jay's entrance. I think it's just kind of cool because, to be honest, I don't know about you, but when I see him, it makes me think of Bray. I think of Bray, and I'm sure that's the same for many, many, many other people as well. Right, this is brilliant. So Wyatt guy, shout out to you, says, I found the picture. Now, this is really cool, right? So let's go full screen on this one. Or full screen over here, right? So you can see this is from Raw, June 3rd, 2013. We're going back like 11 years. We're going back to when the Wyatt family like first arrived. And you can see that what we're looking at is this middle bit here, right? This middle bit here, that's what we're looking at. Because if you zoom out, you get Rowan. And what was used on the Twitch stream the other day, right, was, I think, just the middle of this picture, right? There, boom. You can see just the middle thing. If this was to zoom out, I think Rowan would be about here. So what that says to me is that this image of like a wood area, this is a tease for Rowan being involved in the group. It's also a tease that obviously this whole thing is connected to the Wyatt family going back, like, you know, to 2013, right? So lots of connections with this image here. So I really like it. I really like it. I think it's really, really good. So let's delete that off there. So there we go. We got the Wyatt guy finding that there, which is absolutely awesome. Then we've got this here. Here's Hayden, right? He says, interesting to look at these images. Thanks to Brady for sending them in. Daze is going to have a look at them. Well, we've looked at this one. This is one that was in our video yesterday. And honestly, I was so amazed when I saw this image. It was so, so good. I mean, it's so clear. And I think it's brilliant. Look, you can see the skull, the eyes. That's why yesterday we were like, bang, we got to do a video on this, man. We got to do a video. People are looking in the background at this to see if there's any sort of like little faces or something. I'm not so sold on that, to be honest with you. I think that this could turn out to be like little fireflies or something. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of background. When this gets revealed, there's going to be some sort of background to this, right? And obviously we don't know what this looks like yet, but that's an amazingly clear image. And we don't quite know what the background's going to be. So I don't know if these are going to be little faces. I don't know if it is going to be little fireflies. I don't know if it's none of those things at all. For me, this is the talking point, right? We're trying to figure out what the hell this thing is, and this is the clearest image that we've had of this thing. What's happening in the background? I don't know. You can sort of see something here. I wanted to touch on it. I think it's worth talking about and just making people aware of, but for me, that is the talking point, man. If you didn't see that video yesterday, check it out. I think you'll really enjoy it. Right here, look, we got the Fiend 91 that went back and found that screaming woman, right, that was also shown during the Twitch stream, featured in the last Firefly Funhouse, right, was also shown in that as well. So again, the connections back to Bray, the connections back to the Funhouse, brilliant. They are there. They are being shown during those like little flashes on screen. You know, we see a wood. It turns out that it's from 2013 and it's a Wyatt vignette. You see a screaming woman. Turns out it's from the last Firefly Funhouse. Like, they're killing it, man. Even the little, every little detail. You know, every little thing is connected in some way. Then we got this from Joe Gacy. He said, all alone in space and time. There's nothing here but what here's mine. Something borrowed, something blue. Every me and every you. Now, what I love about this is something borrowed, something blue. That makes me think of a wedding, because I believe that's traditionally what a bride would have, right? So love that, because it connects to the bride. All of this is lyrics from a song by the band Placebo. And I don't know if that's something we need to think about, placebo, because a placebo is if you've got a group of people, say 10 people, and you're trying a new drug for the first time, you might give half of them the new drug to see if it works. The other half, you give them a drug or a sweet that doesn't do anything. It's got no effects, right? It won't do anything. And so it could just be like a sugar pill, and you just give them to that, right? And they have it. So they think they've had the drug, but they haven't. And that is called a placebo, right? You're making them think that they've had something that they haven't. You're lying to them. You're deceiving them, right? And could that have some sort of connection with Nightbirds and what we're seeing now? I don't know, but it's something to really think about, and I really like it. These are lyrics from a song by the band Placebo, and I do just wonder if there's something in that. And I do love that bride connection as well. That is awesome. Right, here, Wrestling World CC said, fans are wondering if JoJo's usage of the number 6 and a winking emoji in her Instagram post could be seen as an Uncle Howdy Wyatt 6 reference. So, I don't know quite what this is. I couldn't choose one, so you get 6. I don't know if there's 6 pictures or she's showing off 6 outfits. I'm not sure, but either way, yeah, I think anytime that she's going to use the number 6 and a little winking emoji, I think we know what she's kind of like hinting at, yeah? So definitely for me, I don't think there's anything here that's like any deeper than that. I just think that any 6 that gets mentioned, that's her going, I know you're going to read into this because I've just said 6. I know. That's her winking going, I know. So I really like that. So Harry Van Vliet, thank you. And then up here, look, we've got this. So we've got the picture of the world that was shown. Also goes back to part of the 2014 Raw intro. So again, another connection back to that original Wyatt family, which is awesome. And then this just dropped an hour ago. This is Nikki Cross, right? And Brettley said she's wearing a dress with a cave on it. I don't know if it's a cave. I can't quite make out. It might be like a bridge or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if this is connected, but any time that like Dexter, Nikki, Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan, like anytime any of these tweet out, it's like panic stations, it's red alert. So I don't know if there is any pattern or anything on there that we need to be paying attention to. I would lean no, personally. Love celebrating love. I think this is just a lovely Sunday message, to be perfectly truthful, from Nikki Cross. I don't think this is connected, but that's where it gets confusing, because sometimes wrestlers use these accounts to send out cryptic messages as their characters, and then sometimes they're just, you know, going to the arcade and having a lovely day, and they're tweeting out as themselves. So is this her? Is this her character? Is there a little subliminal message in here? I don't think so, but again, I wanted to make sure I was bringing it to your attention. And then you might have noticed there was a couple of messages that we skipped, because obviously these relate to Jody. And we shouldn't be surprised about like the fact that WWE superstars were aware of Jody. I think Jody was one of the brightest fireflies and one of the most passionate supporters of Bray and those connected with Bray. And I think she even reached out to the wrestlers. You know, we're going to see a picture of her meeting the Hardys, for example. And apparently, like, she would send lovely messages just saying how they're doing so well. And, you know, she was such a lovely person that, you know, it shouldn't be a great surprise. I suppose the surprise is that the wrestlers have felt the need to publicly come out and, like, you know, say something. And I think that's lovely. I can't think of too many occasions where wrestlers will do that. You might get it from, say, Cody and like a Daniel Bryan or something like that. But there's a lot of wrestling fans that, you know, sadly pass away, and it's quite rare for them to be acknowledged. So it's lovely, lovely, and very much deserved that Jodie gets honors like this. And here's Alexa Bliss saying prayers to Jodie's family. So sorry for your loss. And as I said, so deserved that she gets that public recognition. So that's lovely. That really is lovely. And then up here, we've got another one, look, from Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy. R.I.P. to Jodie Gilly. My thoughts and prayers go out to your family, your husband and children. Thank you for all the support that you directed towards myself and Wyndham, and heartbreak. And March 7th, I'm guessing just earlier this year, she replied to one of his posts saying, the match that made me a fan of both of you guys. And there is a picture of her meeting Wyndham and getting it signed. And you know that she was on top of the world that day, right? And then there she is, look, meeting the Hardy Boys as well. Big smile on her face and everything. So lovely, lovely, lovely that these wrestlers, these superstars have come out and, you know, shared their condolences as well. So very, very much deserved. So that was Nightbird. Those were the kind of things that I thought you'd be interested in knowing have happened, right? These, though, are some of the theories that you might be interested in thinking about, right? So here we've got John, shout out to you, said, erase your minds. There's erase your minds. I've got a theory on the bride that we see in the videos. It might be silly, but could the bride be a reference to JoJo? I like that. As her and Wyndham were about to get married, could that be what they're referring to? I really like that. I really like that. And here's Erasure Mind saying that's not a silly theory at all. I've heard it before with the bride being a reference to JoJo. It's too early to tell, and it might hit a little close to home emotionally for fans and those involved. I mean, I think that's a perfectly good response. What I would say is if JoJo has signed off on it, then I think if JoJo's fine with it, I think everyone else would be fine with it. For me, it's JoJo that I'd be like, you can't do that without telling JoJo first. But if they've run it past JoJo and JoJo's like, yes, I love it, definitely want that, then they would run with it, wouldn't they? So I agree with Erasure Mind there. There is a sensitivity factor at play, but I like that. I like that. It might mean that we never actually get to see the person behind because it's not about the person behind. It's more symbolic of like JoJo, really, you know? Doesn't have to be JoJo that plays that character. It's more just symbolism, you know? Don't know that that's correct, of course, but just something to think about, mull over, you know? Ali said, hierarchy of needs has got 5 groups. 5, maybe like SpongeBob, all 5 represent one of the groups. So maybe each of those levels of that hierarchy of needs, each level is going to be represented by a different member in the group. Eventually, we expect this to become a Wyatt 6, maybe Alexa joins, but at first, we're only expecting 5. The streets were saying that it's going to be Eric Rowan, Dexter Loomis, Nikki Cross, Uncle Howdy, and Joe Gacy, right? Those are the 5 we're expecting. So, yeah, I think that's pretty fun theory that each one is going to represent a different level of the hierarchy of needs in some way. I kind of like that. William said, you talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Well, therapy is one way to help you understand those needs and work towards fulfilling them. If you watch the therapy session again, it seems like they have worked through a lot of them. He's getting closer to the top. So, yeah, that's interesting. What I would say is have a little look at the hierarchy of needs. It's kind of like you need shelter, you need water, right? Then it's like you need love, you need affection. And then, you need fulfillment, and like each level has got different things in it. So that's interesting. William saying that during that therapy session, they're actually working through those hierarchy of needs and maybe getting more towards the top. Maybe that means it's a way of indicating the group is close to debuting, which obviously we hope is going to be King and Queen of the Ring. Master Taker said, "Something hit me. In a way, the therapist is Taylor's sister Abigail. The therapist tries to help Taylor. The therapist is missing, possibly killed. Hope not. Sister Abigail tried to help Bray. Bray was there when she took her final breath, possibly killing her. Almost a mirror image. I would say take the killing out. But I love the idea that Uncle Howdy, if it was Howdy in that therapy session, felt that he was being helped. He was able to open up. And maybe the only person that he can open up to is her. You're right in the sense of she could be his sister Abigail. Next time we see that therapist, she might be very different. She could be his sister Abigail. And I don't think she needs to die like the original sister Abigail, because maybe we want to keep bringing this actress in. We want to keep bringing this woman in. Perhaps she's not going to be a wrestler. We don't need her to wrestle. She's always going to be a confidant, a guide. She's going to be someone that can help Uncle Howdy. Like when he needs to talk to someone, you know, she can be that higher power, if you will, that never needs to wrestle. She can just show up at WrestleMania in full attire when Uncle Howdy like is lost and needs help. Like she could come walking out on stage or something, or we do lots of more vignettes or whatever. But we don't need her in a tag match with Nikki Cross or anything, you know. So I think that's really interesting. I don't know that that's where this is going. I don't think that's where this is going, but I liked it enough to, again, the whole point of this part of the video is to just get you thinking, just get those juices going. Even if this isn't right, it might bounce off and lead us to somewhere that is. Right, Cosmic Guy said, right, veiled is disguised, rude is a crucifix or cross, right? So veiled rude could be a disguised cross. So I feel like I love it. I think we've touched on that. And we've also flipped rude round to door. So disguised door, right? A hidden door. We've also touched on that as well. So I like both of those. So Cosmic Guy, shout out to you. But I did a bit of work myself, right? Now, if you've sent this to me, shout out to you. Honestly, if I'd seen this, I would credit it to the people that had sent it, right? But I was looking at it myself this morning. And I was like, right, veiled rude. I can't get any words out of it. I can't. There's lots of theories, and there's theories I like hidden cross. I like hidden door. I like all of those, right? But I was like, let's see what we can do. So I translated it to English, and it gave me a slightly different words. And I was like, okay, well, this is interesting. What happens if I unscramble this one? Because I've tried unscrambling that one, and I'm not really getting anywhere. So what if I try unscrambling the English translation, and it only came back with one result? There's only one word that uses all the letters for the English translation of veiled rude, right? And it's delivered. That's the only word that comes back that uses every letter. Delivered. And I was like, oh, man, I really like that. I like it. I'm not saying it's correct. I just like it. I got somewhere that I was like, okay, I like that. Translate it to English. Unscramble it. It uses every letter, and it comes up with the word delivered. So, yeah, I really like that. And if you think about where it was as well, it was underneath the video of what we think was Bray, right? I don't know if it was Bray or Bo. And then we go into his mind, and then you get this new character we think gets shown, right? In the static. Have they delivered the character that Bray wanted to deliver? Are they delivering, or are they about to deliver the story that Bray wanted delivering? I like it. I'm not saying it's the right answer. I'm not saying it's correct. I'm just saying I like it. Here's Framed Figures Photography. Said it could be an older therapy session that was recorded, and Uncle Howdy has added the interruptions later. Maybe we're seeing her story, the therapist, backwards. We saw the bride first, then the article about the therapist missing, but then we get to see the moment she went missing, right? So people are saying the bride could be the therapist. So Frame Figures Photography, I love it. It reminds me of a film, I think Memento, which was in a different order, right? And it was a bit jumbled around. So I love that. The only thing I would say is that we've got this. So this is Russian bot showing us the bride from an image that was in a QR code, I believe. And you can clearly see the dark hair. Now, absolutely, the therapist could dye her hair black, right? Of course she could, right? But I think for this reason, I lean to it not being the therapist, because I think they would keep her hair blonde. If the big reveal was going to be that it's the same woman, I don't think they would necessarily dye her hair, but I could be wrong on that. And it could be that the therapist does become the bride. So interesting. Again, if I didn't think there was anything in this, I wouldn't include it at all. But the fact I've included it should tell you I think there's something to this that's worth thinking about. But I wanted to just show that, well, the hair is different. And I also wonder, because, you know, she talks about their pain becoming his pain. And I don't know that the therapist was in any pain. That's another factor which makes me think, I don't know that it is. Because she says that they've been set free. Their pain is now his pain. And again, I don't think the therapist would kind of fit that. But again, food for thought. David said, we're working on the assumption that the therapist has been kidnapped. What if she willingly went with Howdy to meet them? The themes are all about being setting them free. It would seem odd to abduct or kidnap someone. I agree, it would seem odd, but then if Uncle Howdy feels like he's got a connection, feels like this woman might actually, you want to meet them? Fine, let me show you. But in order to show you, I've got to, you know, kidnap you, basically. We're not going to walk down the street and get on the tube or catch the bus. You know, I'm going to bring you to a place where you won't know where you are. It's going to be the middle of the night. It's going to be pretty spooky. I forgot to tell you that part, right? When I said, do you want to meet them? So I kind of feel like you're right. It feels a bit off, but I feel like it'll make more sense once we see the rest of the story, which I'm really hoping is going to be on Raw. Here's Horror Anarchy saying, to second this, she mentioned other clients who did the same stuff to her before. Was she the therapist of Alexa? She wasn't the therapist of Alexa that we saw on TV, but she may have been a therapist for Alexa away from TV. Or the other Wyatts. Imagine if she's been the therapist of the entire family, demons included. Well, this is where the fact that there's a Pokemon that's the same name as Matt Hardy's daughter kind of might add a bit of credence to the fact that she has been someone that has helped other people connected to Bray. So there could be a little bit of weight to that, actually. And I do love the fact that you picked up on that when she said, I've helped other people that have gone through similar, because that implies that she has, you know, helped out other members of the group. And that, I think, is why people are so adamant that she's the same person that helped the Fiend, you know? And it could be they're trying to make her look like that woman so that you think they are the same. Or it could be that they are the same. It's just I look at them and I see different women. But I am a bloke. And it is very confusing for us. Right, I love this as well. So here's Grant Morris. He says, I see different things in that static, and here's 3 fantastic pictures, because I don't know about you, but I see that one. I saw that one at first. I've never seen the rabbit, right? But the wolf and the scarecrow, I have both seen those. And there's another theory as well, that maybe it's different people kind of being shown. Like, actually, when we get to see it, it's actually like a bit of a montage. It's not just one character that's there. As it moves, it actually, like, I don't want to say transforms, but video editing is like, you know, it's got different characters in a bit of a montage, and that's why you sometimes see slightly different things at different times. I really like that school one, for example, but I have seen this in there at one moment as well. And the very first time I saw it, I saw that. So, and clearly people are seeing this as well. So it's interesting how we can look at the same thing and see such different things coming back to us. So I don't know is my honest answer. I don't know, because the picture that we've seen in that video is of a school. And that doesn't fit any of these. That's a 4th thing that we're seeing now. So it's really good. This thing's really good. I love these pictures, though. I love these pictures because 2 of them I see as well. But I can't help but see that school thing now. That's all I see when I look at it now. Right, Colton React said, the picture of the mirror resembles 525. So I've been asked about this. I think we looked at it on a live stream. That looks like a 5. This looks like a 2. And that looks like a 5. So it looks like 525. And that, of course, is the date of King and Queen of the Ring, which I think is brilliant. Because we don't know why this mirror was took a picture of, right? There's a few theories about it. But could it be because it is secretly promoting the date of King and Queen of the Ring? I think that's great. 5/25, the 25th of May. Love that. The one said, her eye contact is to the left of the screen. She picked up the paper from the right of the screen. There's no one there but herself. The papers were placed on the table next to the chair in picture 233968. The camera is facing her, the patient. She is counseling herself. So the one thinks that there's no one there. The only thing I would say is that I feel you can hear scribbles when she's out the room. And I feel like she is getting bits of paper back. So she would have to add those sound effects and everything. So I love the thought that she's there on her own and that there's going to be that swerve. There's going to be something that comes down the road. I just think that there's a bit too much that makes me think that there is someone else that's there as well. You know, she's asking questions. She's getting responses. She could have drawn those, of course, before. Yeah, she could have done those before and just had a load of responses on a chair. But the scribbling. And I think there's a few other little noises that are in there as well. So that's what makes me think no, but I love that theory and I wanted to include it. Here, look, we've got Walt J saying it could have been Alexa that was in the chair, especially after her tweet and then she deleted it. We looked at that the other day. Alexa was in therapy before and it would explain her absence kayfabe-wise. She was the one that cost the Fiend and had this power over him. So, was it Alexa? I presumed it was Uncle Howdy in the chair. But was it Alexa instead? Right, here, look, so Grant says, and I think this is our last one, posted elsewhere, but have a look at the image and the photo of the kid from the video. There appears to be similarities in the face markings. A skeleton figure with dark eyes, wearing a hoodie and a cloak. Probably not. But it gave me an excuse to make my lad help me sketch these out. So love it, Grant. Grant drawing away again. Love it. It is very interesting now that we've got this image here of that kind of skull and the dark eyes. It is now very interesting to go bang, bang. Because did they choose this picture for a very specific reason. Is it that this, when we see this, is it going to be, oh my God, that's Bray? I don't know who this is, actually. I don't know if this is Bray or Bo, but oh my God, look at this. It goes all the way back to when they were kids. Here's the character now in its full final form. But look, there's the seed being planted. That's when they were kids, dressing up as this creation. You know, this is like the evolved final form of it. But there it was, even when they were young. I absolutely love that. I think that's brilliant. It reminds me a lot of Man in the Woods, where we got The Fiend in 2019, but in 2015, Bray was describing The Fiend. Well, here we've got Bray or Bo as a kid, and then maybe what's about to arrive is this fully formed character based on this. Oh my God. Oh my God. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. I wanted to just round up some of the best posts that I'd seen, theories and thoughts that I'd seen. Just get those juices going. Just a little treat on a Sunday. Clean the deck. And then, of course, we're ready for whatever they've got for us on Monday Night Raw. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great Sunday wherever you are. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now.